Okay, Dr. Bardo, I thought we'd just start. The report came out, school started. Let's give people the update. Where are you and what happens kind of going forward here?
Well, the first report came out, and that report was based on a look at all other Division I programs, all the Division I conferences, in terms of what would it cost to do football at what level. And you hear so many numbers and you hear so many things thrown around that we really felt we needed to have a view of what's real versus all of this other stuff that floats. And so I felt like that gave us a really good view of kind of what operating budgets would look like. How we, it doesn't tell you how to get there. We asked them not to do that, but we really wanted to know at what level, what operating budgets were common for the conferences, and then how we stood up. And they gave us, I thought, a good job of doing that.
So where do you go from here? What's next?
Well, there's a number of things. One is we've now had a look at the stadium, had a structural engineer look at it. And the stadium is actually quite solid. It's just ugly. When you look at it at a distance, it looks like it's falling apart, but it's not. And so it could be, it can be the stadium. And so that's a positive thing, and that you're talking not about $100 million, but a lot less. The difficulty in today's world is that football is a moving target, and so we would be looking in capital construction, regardless of what level we played, we'd be looking at about $40 million of investment over 30 years in terms of a bond.
What would the $40 million entail? What would the stadium look like?
Yeah, kind of divide it in half. Kind of divide the money in half. About $22 million would go into the stadium, about $18 million into the practice facility. We would have to tear down the east side to make it ADA compliant, which is one of the big issues. So there would be a new east side, probably not quite as large in terms of seating, but would be much nicer. On the west side, we would add some sky boxes, fix the press box. And then obviously clean up everything, stabilize everything. And it would be an entirely new field, which is, you'd go with an artificial turf. There's no sense in not. So it'd be an entirely new field, and then a very large scoreboard at the north end.
Would you be committed to an on-campus facility? Absolutely, or are there other things that would potentially sway you to consider facility perhaps downtown?
Yeah, we're not committed to anything yet, and including doing it.
Right.
But no, I think we're open to all options. And if there were a reason why having a metropolitan stadium would be an advantage, we would have no objection to walking that through with people.
Well, you've obviously advanced a long way since we sat in this office last December, or whenever that was. What's the timetable now?
There really still isn't. Let me tell you what we are doing, and we have advanced a long way. We've learned a lot, and neither Darren or I had done this before, so this has been an exploration for both of us in terms of what it means to really create a program, or what it means to even think about creating a program. One is that it's become clear that a lot of the interests in this is going to be around a residential student population, that there is a close intertwining between the size of our residential student population and the success of football as a program. Because what happens is that the students who are on campus are the ones who are your base for weekend activities around the program. We need and want to grow that. The second part of it is that we know that with what we're now seeing in terms of interest out of Oklahoma and Texas, that football is so much a culture of those two states that will have impact, and what we're trying to gauge is what level of impact that has on the willingness of students to come. The other thing I mentioned to you, and this I didn't know last time we talked, with the Big 12 doing whatever it's going to do, it's caused a whole lot of conversation around the country, obviously. And what we're finding is, based on what we're hearing from the other conferences, that we really need to think about conference alignment in football as two separate questions. And that we didn't know that when we started. In fact, part of why I started the football question was if we were going to look at conference, it looked as though we had to do those two things together. We had to have that conversation together. I'm finding that's no longer true. And so what Darren and I really have said is, let's get the conference question right, and then let's let the football question follow.